Ready on YouTube? Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to call this regular meeting Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at about 10 a.m. to order, and we will start off with Pledge of Allegiance, and then our invocation will be given by Reverend Brian Mills. And Steve, would you lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Loving God, Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings you have given to your people, especially us here today. We thank you for the rain on our dry lands, how much we needed that. We thank you for this country in which we experience the many privileges and freedoms. May we never take them for granted. We give you thanks for those who sit in places of government, especially today for this gathering of supervisors as they oversee the many issues impacting our home, Gila County. We thank you for Mr. Christensen, who has answered the call to serve as representative of his communities and to the greater Gila County. We ask that as he joins Mr. Klein and Mr. Humphrey, our prayers is that they may have great clarity of issue before them, wisdom in all decisions, and courage to be faithful to the Constitution and laws of our lands. May they come to realize your presence and your desire for them to rely on your willingness to direct and guide them in the path they should travel together. We pray today for the healing of our country and for the establishment of peace throughout our land and the world. We ask that you bring an end to the deadly pandemic and make your presence known to those who suffer from its symptoms and for those who mourn the loss of friends and loved ones. May we continue to realize that you are ultimately in control of all of our lives, and may we willingly submit all that we have and all that we are to you, and may it be used for your perfect will and for your glory. We pray these things in the name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, moving along to 2, public hearing, information, discussion, action to approve, deny, or modify conditional use permit application number CUP P2009-001 to allow a 3-story, 34-foot tall building height for a single-family residence measured from the ground level to the mean height between the eaves and the roof ridge. In Residential 1 Use District in the Strawberry Mountain Shadow Subdivision in Pine, Arizona. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to present for your consideration a conditional use permit, or CUP, to allow a 3-story, 30-foot tall, measured from grade level to the mean height between the eaves and the ridge of a single-family residence to be built in Pine. For the use district where this property is located, the zoning ordinance limits the number of stories to 2 and a building height of 30 feet, while allowing for a CUP to be applied for to increase the number of stories and the height of the building. The ordinance defines a CUP as a use which, although not specifically permitted in a use district, would become harmonious or compatible with neighboring uses through the application and maintenance of qualifying conditions if the board so chooses to add qualifying conditions. This parcel has an extreme slope to it. The applicants and their architect have stated that the first 2 floors, of which the bottom floor is a walkout basement, will be lower than the actual height of the Pineview Drive Road to the west. As the pictures included in the staff report show, there are other residences in the area that appear to be more than 2 stories and 30 feet in height, so the residence design would be harmonious with the neighborhood. The applicants held a neighborhood meeting on November 17th, as required by the zoning ordinance, and had no attendees. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on December 17th. Staff received one email in opposition from a property owner to the west whose residence is currently under construction. The email stated that they designed their residence to meet all the requirements of the zoning ordinance, and so their neighbors should as well. We had another neighbor that to the east at the bottom of the slope that attended the P&Z meeting and was opposed because he would be able to see the three-story side, and this would mar his view. The commission voted 9-0 to recommend approval of the CUP application. This public hearing was noticed in the Payson Roundup and the Arizona Silver Belt newspapers on December 29th and 30th, respectively. The property was posted on December 28th. In conclusion, staff feels that the additional height and story of the proposed residence would have a minimum negative impact on the neighborhood due to the property's topography and due to there being other similar design residences in the area, and therefore recommends approval of the CUP with no conditions. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Supervisor Klein, any question?
Well, Scott, the only question I'd have, I'm glad we don't have any major issues with this one, but you're still working on that mean height issue, right?
That'll be coming to you next week at a work session.
Good deal. So that's the only question I had.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to clean that up.
Good.
Supervisor Christian?
No, I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Bazan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for working on that. We'll save a lot of issues in the future. Okay, if there's no further questions, I'll open it to the public hearing. Do we have anyone in Payson for the public hearing today?
No, sir.
I see no one in Globe. Do we have anybody on YouTube with any comments on this issue? Jackie, have we had any in? No? Okay, if there's no public comments, then I will close the public hearing, and I'll call for a motion.
Chairman Humphrey, I would like to make my very first motion. I heartily move to approve conditional use permit application number CUPP 2009-001.
And I'll second that.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Scott?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to regular agenda item number 3, regular agenda item, information, discussion, action to accept a grant award from the Arizona Companion Animal Spay and Neuter Committee in the amount of $7,500 that will be used to expand Gila County's discounted spay and neuter services in Gila County for a period of 1 year. Mr. Michael O'Driscoll.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. So each year we apply for about $10,000 for low cost spay and neuter, which we offer the residents of Gila County. And each year we do receive $7,500. And this money is used to give out to the residents if they come into our shelter to adopt an animal. We will pay for the spay neuter that animal, so we can make it an easier process for animals to be adopted out. And in the northern area, the Payson Humane Society has this same funding, and it's a little bit more for the northern area residents. So this $7,500 is used in that particular way. We love getting this money. We use it. We use every last dime of the $7,500, and it saves Gila County Animal Care and Control money, and it also saves the residents of Gila County money. And it also is a good incentive to come adopt an animal from our animal shelter as well. So, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Supervisor Klein, any questions?
No, thank you, Michael.
Supervisor Christensen.
No questions.
And I have no questions, and thank you very much for all you do, and that helps a lot.
Great, thank you.
Okay, if that's it, I'll call for a motion.
Chairman, I'd make a motion to accept a grant award from the Arizona Companion Animal Spay and Neuter Committee in the amount of $7,500.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor, do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Regular Agenda item 3B, information, discussion, action to approve amendment number 1 to core construction AIA contract A-133-2009, Payson Complex multipurpose building and site improvements in the amount of $5,448,134. GMP for construction services for a contract amount not to exceed the total contract amount of $5,481,936 for the contract term December 3rd, 2019 to December 31st, 2020. Darren Frank, good morning.
Morning. How are you, supervisors and chair? This is a pretty exciting day. This is the beginning of the construction process for, if approved, for the Payson complex, will be the community complex up there. This is a building, as described, of approximately 11,944 square feet. Now, that's not all internal. Internal is about 10,600. The additional footage, square footage, has to do with a break area outside, which is outside and not underneath roof, and a sally port area as well. Also includes two-way traffic modifications for Frontier Street and fiber cabling loop that's going to connect all of our buildings on the campus there. Once again, the total GMP, including previous amount of $33,802, is $5,481,936. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Supervisor Klein.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren. Thank you for this. That's a lot of money, hands down. And so my question is for you finance people and all you with the answers. If you look at the money that we spent with the animal shelter and with this, that mucks out the $10 million. That's pretty much $10 million right there. So how are we going to cover the rest of it that we got going on the jails and whatever else?
Mr. Minlove's coming.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Klein, it does pretty much, we have committed about $1 million to the jail here in Globe for a new roof, complete new roof and air system that is pretty much done.
Yeah, getting very close to it.
Very close to being completely done. About $1 million there, about just less than $3 million for the animal facility here in Globe, and then this $5.5 million for the facility in Payson. Now, this includes, in addition to the Payson jail, a sally port, so we can make sure that there's increased safety and security in that location for the transport of prisoners to courts and whatever else they might need to do, or to transport to Globe, whatever the situation might be for transporting. There was, as a part of the commitment we had, was to remodel the Globe, or the Payson administrative side of the jail there, and to add a laundry room and a kitchen facility to the Payson jail. That is still on the to-do list. I would say that those are things that we need to address and to need. They are not urgent in that they are functioning as they are right now. And so everything that we considered as far as essential for safety and security for the community and to be able to do the business that they do at that location is taken care of in this amount. The ones that are not critical at this time will not be included. They will be something that is put on the list of things as we go through, because annually we do include as a part of the budget improvements that we need to continue our deferred maintenance on our facilities, need to continue to improve functionality, energy efficiency, and those types of things as we go forward. Those will be on the list for your consideration of budgeting in future years. It will not come out of the bond financing.
So what I guess I'm hearing you say, James, is you're assuring me that everything we're wanting to do, needing to do, will stay within that $10 million?
Mr. Chairman, it's really close.
My figures here is that you guys have already tapped out the 10 million. I mean, you're right there.
It is right there. It might be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a little bit over. We have that money budgeted in capital projects. So, but yes, you're correct that the 10 million will be spent with this, and perhaps just a little bit more.
And that's not even counting the $500,000 we have programmed for the regional drainage project.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
Supervisor Klein, yes, that is correct. That will come out of our essentially general fund budgeted amount for capital projects. It is not included in the 10 million.
Just so you guys all know, and just a reminder, when we started this little process, I was dead set on $10 million. And I still am. And so as we go through whatever we need to on this, we come over $10 million, and I'm not going to be for it. So I think it's really good to really take a good hard look at it and see, because if we're still working on jails, we still have unknowns that's going to come up. That's only a given, and whatnot. So it's something we're going to have to be really, really careful of.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Klein, included in this is certain things that we could cut out of the project, like including a generator that is not to run the entire facility. It is a generator that will run essential components. The idea of having a generator there is that the facility can be used for emergency operations center. When those things occur, we have no facility in the northern part of the county at this time. But there are some things that we could whittle away that would cut that so that we're right exactly within the $10 million that has been prescribed. Our recommendation and what has been included by Mr. Frank is that those things be included because it's much, much easier and much more cost effective to do that while we're constructing the entire project.
I get that part of it. I do. But I also get the part, we were putting $5 million in Payson and 4.8 or something like that in Globe. And now we're pushing $6 million in Payson. And we still have a $2.8 million animal shelter down here we're going to do, plus another $1 million on the jail, not to mention the building on Cedar Lane that we got money into, and some other money out there. Just looking at figures and from what I've gathered up, you're 10 million, and that's going to be a tight rope to walk to get this stuff done. And I don't know when it comes to the building, when we deal with the courts and what the courts have to have for their building and space like that, I know is different than most buildings, but there's no room for any extras, for sure.
Included in this price is contingency for that.
How much?
3%, which is very slim.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I will say that Mr. Vela worked extensively with the architects, the engineers, that when there was a certain product or certain thing that would be made to put on the walls and the finishings of that we opted for a more conservative finish. When we first got the plans from the architect, it included a large copy center and things of that. That is cut down to practically nothing. There was a larger break room, and that again has been cut down to next to nothing for that. So there has been significant cuts to bring it to this price. And I believe, Mr. Chairman, if it's all right, Mr. Balaam may have some comments.
But before he does, I just want you guys to understand, I know that Homer works very hard on this, and he has the money interest too, and I know that. It's just that we're pushing the envelope on this one.
Yes, sir, we are.
So, thank you.
Good morning, Chairman Humphrey and Supervisor Klein, Supervisor Christensen. Yes, it is challenging to do all of these projects. The animal shelter, by the way, is going very well. We targeted $2.8 million plus the septic, and that's well within. We've not really touched the contingency on that project. The roof and the HVAC is also moving along very well. It also had some level of contingency, and it appears at this point in time that we're going to be well within that budget. The probation building, of course, we paid for it. This is the county complex. The architect that we selected is expert in jail and expert in courthouses. So he spent a lot of time with Judge Wright and the courts. And when we talked about the design, and he's included all the requirements for the court, and for that reason, the cost per square footage is higher than a normal building. We have a contingency. It's not a high contingency, but Core Construction, again, we selected a company that's very expert in the work that they do, and Core feels very confident that we're going to be able to put this project at target, at what we've targeted for the cost. So I think we've done all the things that should have been done. The cost is a little bit higher. It's a pandemic, and you would think that construction has slowed down, but actually last year, and Scott's going to perhaps talk about this at the work session. Last year, in 2020, we had a 59% increase in single-family residential permits over 2019 during the pandemic. Of course, Scott's team didn't miss a beat. They were still able to issue single-family residential permits within the 15-day time frame that they have. But the level of work that's taking place in construction hasn't helped us. It's kind of maintained the cost of construction. Some things have gone up. Some things have stayed the same. But we didn't get any help there. We thought we would over time. And this is where we're at. And we think we're offering a complete building. It does have two sally ports. The second sally port is 1,400 square feet in size. It's a very large sally port, and it's actually taking up a lot of money. And that was part of what we were going to be doing for the sheriff, like County Manager Manlove mentioned. That addresses many of the safety issues associated with that jail. Later on, when we do work on that jail, we're going to approach it like we did the health building, where we contract out the different elements of work that our team cannot do, and the things that our team can do, and we're within what the state law requires, we're gonna do so that we do that at the lowest cost possible, and that's where we're at today. And with that, we are looking for you to approve this building. It's going to house many of the elected officials, including the recorder and the assessor, who not only going to have offices, but they're going to have workspaces for elections and for all the other duties that they take place. The lobby is going to allow the folks that come in for a jury selection to be able to coordinate them into the building. It's going to be of a sufficient size to allow that. This building, in terms of size and functionality, is a 40-year building. It's a long-term kind of idea. We have an office for the superintendent and the treasurer, like I mentioned. And today, the treasurer has an office here, and the superintendent has another office in areas of Payson. But 30 years from now, we don't know where they're going to be. And so this building allows for housing these elected officials. I think it's going to be a building that really serves the community. We don't have a place to meet. We go out to the road yard sometimes, to the conference room that they have out there, but the county really doesn't have a place to meet for large meetings. And I think that this is going to be more than ample and satisfy those needs. So with that, we'll keep taking questions that you may have.
Thank you, Homer. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, no, I'm good. If you're good, I'm going to move on to.
Well, I just have a
Supervisor
little bit
Christensen.
more, and then I'll let you have it. So, I do agree with you, Homer, on all the space and things like that. That really does help up there, and it'll help the courts a lot. You know, I remember when we were looking at buildings to lease in order to have the court space and what it was going to cost just to do that. This, even at $5.5 million, is even cheaper than that was for back then. So, I get all that. It's just the money. It's just totally the money. And where we're, you know, from my standpoint, what I'm looking at is as far as our county goes and what we need to be doing. So, like I said, $10 million, you're there. So, thank you, Homer. But I do want you to know I do appreciate everything you do to keep those whittled down, and I know that. So,
Supervisor Christensen,
Thank you.
questions, comments?
Well, the facility is certainly needed in the Payson area. It's going to create this duality of buildings in the county that will help address some who have concerns that they're not properly represented in the north. So certainly a good project. Explain the two numbers that we see here. So we have a $5,400,000 and 48, and then we have another one, maximum $5,481,000. Why are there two numbers?
The difference
Yes.
is the $33,802 that was originally given, a part of the original contract with CORE to help develop this cost. So as we were going along, we brought them in to not only partner on design, bring in their expertise, but also come up with the final cost, what it's going to be.
Okay. And so what we're voting on today is just for the project in Payson.
That's correct.
And the maximum in the contract, the second number, is the maximum that will be spent, period.
Absolutely. $5,481,000.
So okay. So
That's correct.
that's a hard number that cannot be exceeded.
It's a hard number that they have put out, and yes, we will make sure that it doesn't go over that.
Okay. And everything in the contract that is discussed in the building, like the generator and other things, will be provided for this number, regardless of any problems that may arise.
The GMP includes the generator, includes both sally ports, includes all the space that Homero had described to you. So yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the thing of it is, you know, I try to think of the constituents too, and the benefit that this building is going to provide to everybody up north, not only for a place to go in emergencies, but for courts and things that's been needed for a long time. And I try to look at the bigger picture too, and I understand that, you know, we started with 10 million for multiple projects. But as a licensed general contractor, there's change orders too. I mean, it's hard to come up with a hard cost when you haven't even had water pressure for your, sprinkler systems and stuff, which could create costs increase that you can't foresee ahead of time. And looking at the big picture, you know, that's going to open up property that the county has that they can sell or do other things with. And so, you know, when I look at it, it's one project and it's one budget, but we have budgeted money for projects, and this is definitely one that I feel is important to the community, and so, you know, we do have funding, and there are change orders, and we do have property that we can do something with in the future, and that's my 2 cents, and I thank you guys very much for the projects that you have rolled in such a short time to get the things done that we have in the last year and a half or two, and the things that are going to be finished up in the next 2. So, you know, my hat's off to staff for keeping this ball rolling extremely fast, even through an epidemic. So,
Sure.
So that's my 2 cents worth, and if there's no further comments, I'll call for a motion.
Chairman Humphrey, I move to approve Amendment Number 1 to Core Construction A1A Contract A-133-2009.
And I'll second that motion.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
thank you for that. I get the financial end of it. Being a numbers guy, absolutely, and we will watch that very closely. Very much needed facility. There will be a groundbreaking scheduled sometime in the next few weeks to go and celebrate that we will begin this. So I thank you for the opportunity to proceed.
Well, yeah, but you've got it now, so let's roll. Okay, moving on to regular agenda item 3C, information, discussion, action to appoint or reappoint members of the Board of Supervisors to the following boards, committees, and organizations for the calendar year of 2021. And there's a lot of us set on several different boards and things throughout the state and county. And so we do have some open, and I guess Supervisor Klein is sitting on some at this point, and I'm sitting on some at this point. So I guess if there's something that someone else is interested in as we go through this list, we can see who wants to be where. And so I'll probably read through them, and as we go through them, to put a name to them. Marion, would that be easier? Okay, then we're going to go through these one at a time and discuss them. And so the first one is County Supervisors Association Legislative Policy Committee. And the thing of it is that's that right now is open. Supervisor Martin was on that one, on that committee. So it's dealing with the legislature, and so we can discuss that. Who might be interested in the Legislative Policy Committee?
Mr. Chairman, can I make a
Yes.
comment about that?
You can.
The County Supervisors Association every Friday morning at 9 o'clock holds a meeting to review all of the activities of the state legislature that have gone on for the previous week. They are continually reviewing all bills that have been dropped or put into place. There's been about 1,500 bills for changing legislation so far this year already, but that is common that they put so many bills in at the beginning. So this is CSA reviewing all of those bills, putting towards the LPC, which is their duty and responsibility to, based on the recommendation of CSA, to vote whether to support, be neutral, or oppose the legislation that's opposed. So it's continually every week considering what legislation is out there in the forefront, and then taking a vote of what the stance of County Supervisors Association will be with regard to that legislation.
So, Mr. Chair,
you for that.
if I may.
Yes.
So, James, so then I'm kind of interested in this one, to be straight up, but I have some questions too. So when you're sitting there on that committee, you're having to make decisions probably once a week
Yes.
as to whether or not, it's good for the county or not, basically.
Yes.
That right?
Yes.
Or rural Arizona.
Or rural
Metro
Arizona. Yeah, not the state of Maricopa, but
Yes.
Can I add one thing to that?
Would you
Mr. Chairman.
please?
May I add one thing?
Would you please?
And then, so I've been staffing LPC for off and on for a few years, more like 12 or 14. And then once a month, when the County Supervisor Association Board of Directors, of which you all are Board of Directors, meet, the LPC then brings their information back, gets direction from, but the LPC works as a subcommittee of CSA because legislatively things move faster than the once a month meeting. So it's while the legislature is in session, it's an every Friday commitment. It's an every Friday morning commitment and an understanding and awareness of what's going on legislatively, what CSA has previously agreed that as CSA board members, we're going to be the platform from back in October. It just sort of carries that work on a weekly basis. And then the other one, which isn't on here but has to be mentioned, is, and once a month, the County Supervisors Association Board of Directors holds a meeting. During legislative session, it's largely consumed by what the LPC has been looking at for the 4 weeks in between. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a lot of work. Makes a lot of sense. So, on that note, one thing, I guess that, looking at this would be whoever it is needs to bring a report back probably to this board every so often on these bills and as things are moving, or what do you think, Jackie?
So, Mr. Chair, that's one way to do it. Also, the report happens during the Board of Directors meeting monthly. So, as a board, all board members, all county supervisors are part of that CSA Board of Directors that are encouraged to meet monthly for their Board of Directors, and that's where they get the reports. So you can do it either way. You can bring it back to a report in this setting, or you can get your report as Board of Directors of CSA.
Okay.
It's sort of up to the LPC representative and the board.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie.
Did you have any more questions, Supervisor Klein?
No, I better not think too hard about this.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
since Supervisor Klein made the Freudian slip of saying he has an interest in it, I would propose that Supervisor Klein be appointed to this.
Does that mean we're kind of
Session.
working for the railroad?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to make you mad on that budget deal a while ago, James. I'll take that back. How's that?
No takebacks.
So is that a yes?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, then, Marion, for County Supervisors Association Legislative Policy Committee, that will change to Supervisor Klein instead of open. Okay, then we're moving on to Eastern Arizona Counties Organization. Correctional Officers Retirement Plan. No, that's, excuse me, I put two together. Eastern Arizona Counties Organization.
Mr. Chairman, if I could
Yes.
comment, this is a group of 5, or is it 6 counties now? 6 counties on the eastern side of Arizona, Cochise all the way up through Apache and Navajo on the east side here. And that is, it is generally an organization that has been foremost and forefront with ForFry. ForFry is the one that's trying to support forest health. And this is, as a group, that we are putting forward at a national level and a state level for forest health. This has been one of Supervisor Martin's loves of forest health and assuring that we have continued forest in the future. And I haven't got any Freudian slips here, but
I'll speak to that one as well. Eastern Arizona Counties Organization predates ForFry, however, and has largely been involved in all things that are of interest to the eastern rural counties as opposed to the larger counties. So it includes forest health, it includes natural resource management, it includes, back in the day it was all about the wolf. They turn their attention to focusing on and advocating, working together to come up with solutions related to issues in those eastern counties. And I will tell you that Supervisor Christensen, the first, was the representative before Supervisor Martin.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to volunteer for that position.
Well, I think that'll be fine. It's open, and Woody and I have others on our plate, so you're.
Yeah, we're going to give you 2.
Yeah, you are welcome. You are welcome to that one. So Okay, so Eastern Arizona Counties Organization is Supervisor Christensen. Then we go on to Correction Officers, Retirement Plan Corp., Local Board of Sheriff's Officers Detention, Officers, Non-Uniform Officers. And I'm currently on that and will stay unless someone else is interested in taking that one over. Then we have Gila County Local Emergency Planning Committee, as to which I'm on. If someone else is interested, they're welcome. We have Central Arizona Government Regional Council, which I'm on and will continue unless someone is interested.
You're on the roll. Keep going.
Okay, pay attention because I'm liable to mention your name after
Yeah, I'm
this.
watching now.
No, Gila County Community College Allied Health Care Advisory Committee, as to which I'm on. I will stay. Gila County College Industry and Mining Advisory Board, which is I'm on. If anyone's interested, I'll stay. Corp Local Board of Sheriff's Officers Dispatchers, which I'm on, and I'll stay.
No,
No?
but I will give it to you if you want it.
Oh, you're Local Board of Sheriff's Officers Dispatchers? You're on that? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's fine. Then you can stay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Unless you're interested in it, Steve. Actually, on my part, you can take the next two if you want.
Okay, then are we caught up with you, Marion? You know who's where?
So you're taking over dispatchers?
No. Supervisor Klein can remain on dispatches. And then Public Safety Personnel Retirement System Local Board.
Steve?
Yes,
Going
sir.
once? Okay.
Yes, sir. Going once, done?
Yeah, done.
Okay, I don't even know what it is, so
They'll teach you fast.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
pays well.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Some of these, you're baptized by fire. Just jump in and go. Okay, then we go to Gila County Board of Health.
I'm looking at the last thing on the list.
Okay, so Supervisor Klein, you're on.
Unless somebody else wants
Gila
it.
County Board of Health.
I'll keep it.
Okay, you got it. San Carlos Tribal Partnership Steering Committee.
I guess I'll keep that one too.
Yeah, and it's okay, good enough. And the last Coalition of Arizona, New Mexico.
I got it.
Okay, Supervisor Christensen. Marion, did we get everything? Okay, good.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
before you vote, the PSPRS board for Supervisor Christensen is there's the public safety personnel retirement system is regard to law enforcement. And every entity has their own specific board. So there's the Gila County Public Safety Personnel Retirement System. And covering that board, you would be a participant, a member of that board, which makes decisions on, sometimes there'll be a question of early retirement or medical retirement and those types of things. So that is what the responsibility is that when they meet, and I'm not sure how often they meet, but
Okay, it's policy making.
not necessarily, because there is the Public Safety Personnel Retirement System is a state function, department. And so the PSPRS as a whole makes the policy. The local board has the administrative responsibility for the local plan
Okay,
and just administering what the state board sets up.
okay. Thank you.
And so, Mr. Chair, if I may, real quick, when you come on that board, you'll end up being the chair on that board. But Angelo down there in HR, he can fill you all in on all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just done quite a bit with all of that too. To be
Yeah.
good new information.
It is.
And the coalition, Mr. Chairman, is similar to ECO in that it's a group of New Mexico counties, Arizona counties, many of the same issues that have been discussed with ECO.
And just currently, the president of that board is changing to New Mexico side. So there'll be somebody in New Mexico that'll be the chairman on that board. It changes back, I think it's every 2 years, every year, something like that. Anyway, so they haven't appointed or voted somebody in there yet, but they will.
Okay, well, if we're all set there, I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion to appoint or reappoint members of the Board of Supervisors to the boards, committees, and organizations as discussed.
Second?
Having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Moving on to 3D, information discussion action to elect a vice chair of the Board of Supervisors for the period of 16 months, which will become effective immediately until April 30th, 2022. And when we were elected, we decided to go in 16-month intervals between chair, vice chair, and then rotate, because it gave everyone an opportunity to chair meetings. I think before there was just one chair and had been there for a couple years. And so we felt that it would be fair to do it. So I guess Supervisor Klein, you just gave over chairmanship, and so it's between you guys. I can't be vice chair and chair both, so.
You don't want to give it a try?
Well, if you want me to.
No, I wouldn't wish that on you, Tim.
But if I'm gone, I won't be able to be here in my place.
So my question is, Steve, in 2022, you're going to be up for election. So how do you feel? What do you want to do? What's your comfort level?
Well, I just kind of figured you'd throw me in there anyway.
Well, thoughts crossed our mind, I'm sure.
You just, so primarily the vice chair is to fill your chairman's position in
Exactly.
his
If
absence.
I'm unable to fulfill, then
Yeah.
you are.
I
you're there.
don't see that as a big deal, so I will nominate myself.
Okay. Well, then I will make a motion. Can I make a motion? Yeah, I can make a motion. Can I? Yeah, I'll make a motion to elect Steve Christensen as vice chairman of the Board of Supervisors.
And I'll second it.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor, do so by saying aye.
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 Congratulations, Steve.
Congratulations on that, and that's great.
Well, I'd
And
rather
so-
have a title than a pay raise.
Yeah.
Any day.
Well, that's
We
you're
have long
you're sitting in
memories,
there,
so
you're-
that's
yeah, you're
good.
sitting in the right seat for that one, because all those things you said yes to, and we'll give you some more too. Okay, moving on to 4 consent agenda items. At any manner of the consent agenda items will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed and voted upon as regular agenda item upon the request of any member of the Board of Supervisors. Does anyone care to discuss or pull out anything on the consent agenda items? If not, we'll vote on all of them at the same time.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve consent agenda items 4A through 4F.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, having a motion and a second, all in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, then that does that one. Moving on to 5, call to the public. Do we have any public that wishes to address the board in Payson?
No, sir.
Do we have anybody on YouTube that cares to address the board? Okay, then at any time during this meeting pursuant to ARS 38-431.02K, members of the Board of Supervisors and County Manager may present a brief summary of current events. No action may be taken on information presented. And last time I was chair, I always forgot James. So James, would you like to go first on this one?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to point out that this Thursday is the CSA Executive Board meeting. So all 3 supervisors are invited to attend that. All 3 of you are on the Executive Board for CSA. It is being handled by a Zoom participation, a Zoom group. So that is at 10 o'clock on Thursday, this Thursday, the 21st. And I think that's it.
So by Zoom group, I mean, are you going to do it like in your office on a big TV and have us present, or are we going to each do it on our own little tablet, or?
Either way, we can certainly do it, and I will be participating in my office, and you're welcome to join me, but only one of you can join me unless we post it.
Unless we post it. Okay, well.
It's posted.
It's
It's
posted?
posted, okay.
Well, good, then I'm glad I brought it up, because that'll be, I'm tired of sitting in meetings by myself on a TV.
It's typically down in,
Great to get back into reality.
it's typically down in Phoenix where all three of you can be present, so
Correct.
that's why it's posted.
Correct.
We can move it into this,
Facility?
into this room.
Okay.
If we would so be inclined.
Okay.
But yeah, we can certainly have,
Yeah.
either in my office or in here.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you. I'm glad I brought that up. Okay, Supervisor Klein.
Well, we're just starting to get back on track. I'm really glad that Supervisor Christensen's with us these days so we can share all this. But this afternoon, we'll be in Hayden. Big meeting there over the Kearney Ambulance Service. And so Copper Valley Hospital is looking at taking that over. And so we have a meeting set up with Copper Valley Hospital, Neil Jensen, all the mayors there in Winkleman, Hayden, and Kearney, Asarco. We've got like 3 representatives coming from Asarco, and hopefully the new district supervisor from Pinal County that took over Pete Rios's district. So that's where we'll be this afternoon to go over all that. Looking forward to it. It'll be a good thing for those folks down there.
Well,
That's it.
good. Supervisor Christensen.
Well, I'm celebrating my 1-week anniversary, and it's been a whirlwind, and it's been wonderful. I want to commend the staff of Gila County, because everyone I've dealt with, spoken to, or encountered have just been magnificent. And of course, my assistant Cheryl, she makes it her job to save my life every day. So I really appreciate her. That's really all I have to say.
Well, good. Well, thank you very
Thanks.
much. And Supervisor Klein, I usually go to you first after these, but just letting you know, now that we have another vice chair, when I go through these agendas and stuff, I'll probably go to the vice chair first for comments before I go to you. And it's nothing but going in the future.
I've got plenty of comments in the meetings, Tim.
Oh yeah, no. I just let you know the order. I've got some things going on. I've started having public meetings again, working on several projects. But the thing of it is I think today I'm going to take the time, because there's probably nothing more important right now in the community than COVID and COVID vaccinations and interest in COVID vaccinations. And the thing of it is we understand that everybody wants the vaccinations all at once, and we wish we could. The thing of it is we're only allowed so much vaccine, and it's limited, and it's distributed depending on how the state health department and the governor wants to distribute it, and it's per capita. So the thing of it is the vaccine that we're receiving right now is a 2-shot vaccine. So if you want to go, we're doing it by phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And for people out there in the public or on YouTube that hasn't looked at this chart, you can get this chart on the county website. I think it's even been in the paper of the phases that they're going through. And what you don't realize is if we have healthcare workers, and we have 1,000 of them, that's a 2-shot deal. So there's 2,000 shots of the vaccine that we do receive, and those have to be scheduled like 30 days apart. And so there is good news. There's a bright light at the end of the tunnel, because we have been, Michael O'Driscoll, the health department, have been doing a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, here until recently, we were #1 in the state in administering. But that's when we were getting a lot of vaccine and doing healthcare workers and things in schools where we could do them on premises. And so the thing of it is we're moving forward, and the good news is that he has been trying for the state to receive more vaccine than we have been receiving. And that has happened. And so the thing of it is that's going to happen. Hasn't happened. It's not right now. But within the next month, we are going to start receiving more vaccine per month than we have been receiving, so that we will be able to administer more shots. But the thing of it is then you have to realize that all of those places have to be set up properly to administer the shots. And when you got 2,000 people that are set in one little place that need shots, that's a lot of organization. That's a lot of people. And so we're working as fast as we can. And the neat thing of it is we're working with community partners, which may be, the hospitals, some of the doctors' offices, things of that nature. So in here in the near future, we're going to be working with more of our community partners. And because of some of the calls that have come in, we closed down the phone lines because we were just getting flooded with calls. They were negative calls. They were really angry with staff, and we understand the urgency of some people needing and wanting to get the shot, and we're doing the best we can. But we had to shut the phone lines down. But as we start receiving more of this vaccine, and we are able to work with community partners, our community partners will be setting up links that you can go to for appointments and phone, perhaps, for appointments. That is coming in the future. And so, if you want to keep updated, there's www.readygila.com that you can go to for some of this information. The health department, emergency management, is posting things there all the time. And I understand that a lot of people have difficulties in computers, and I am one of them. And so I can understand the frustration there too. And but in the future, once we start getting more vaccine and working with our community partners, they will be able to set up phone calls and different links where you can come. And so we really appreciate your patience. We're doing all we can. We're set by the state, and the state is working with us to help us get more vaccines. And so we thank you all very much for your patience. And I believe that's all I have.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you for that about the vaccines, and that's extremely important. Did want to comment, I've just gotten new information that on Friday, Mary Springer, Gila County Finance Director, met with Sheriff and Sarah White regarding the work that's being done here at the Globe Jail for the new roof and the HVAC, and that the sheriff had agreed to pay $250,000 of that project for the HVAC out of their criminal justice enhancement funds. So that is a welcome relief. Thank you to Sheriff Shepard in being able to do that. And I think we will be within our projected amount that we have discussed. So thank you, Sheriff Shepard, and just wanted to pass that information on. The sheriff had agreed to do that.
Okay, if we have no further comments, nothing popped up on YouTube. Okay, then I will adjourn today's meeting, and thank you all very much.